Definitely. Yeah, when you think about the average jujitsu practitioner, so let's maybe step back from the elites in the sport, and we can, you know, tab that for future part in this conversation. But if you think about these people that are maybe they're showing up 2 3 times a week, it's usually after work or before work. They're fathers, mothers, you know, kind of 30 and above. What have you found is kind of that sweet sauce for strength and conditioning frequency relative to jujitsu frequency?
I have this saying that I repeat probably once a week, but it still reigns true 7 years later. It's not really about how much you do on the mat or in the gym that leads to progress. It's about how much you do and can recover from. So
Yeah.
for some of those people who are training jujitsu 3 times a week, they may be able to handle going to the gym on the days they're not going to jujitsu. So that'd be around 3, maybe even 4 times a week. Some guys who are maybe a little bit older, or maybe they enjoy training jujitsu a lot more, so they train jujitsu Monday through Friday, they might only be able to handle about 2 strength and conditioning workouts per week because that's as much as they can recover from. So over the last 7 years of strength training specifically for jiu-jitsu and working with tons of grapplers, I found, I guess you could say, like the sweet spot for most of the people I've worked with to be anywhere from 2 strength and conditioning days per week and at a max probably 4 strength and conditioning days per week. The rare exceptions to that would be like, I remember there was one guy I was working with. He was a huge meathead. He just loved lifting weights and he did jujitsu once a week. And he's like, dude, all the other days I'll lift. I was like, okay, you want to lift 5 days a week? Let's run it. So, but for most people who are doing jujitsu multiple days a week, I'd say try to start with 2 days a week or 2 additional workouts per week. If you feel like that you're able to recover effectively, it's not having a huge negative impact on your ability to have good, productive jiu-jitsu sessions, go ahead and throw in a third day and then run that for a few weeks, maybe even upwards of 2 months. After about 2 months of strength training 3 times a week, if you feel like you have availability in your schedule and you have availability in your quote unquote recovery tank to handle one more training session, go for it. And if you start to feel like that you're adding all these sessions in and your progress starts to decline, or you feel like that at the start of each week you're still sore and you're still banged up from the work you did in the previous week, that would probably be a sign that you need to dial things back a little bit. So over the last 7 years, I've kind of varied up and down of how many strength and conditioning sessions I put into my own training, just based on how much jiu-jitsu I was doing. When I was still in college and I was training jiu-jitsu twice a week, I lifted 4 times a week. And then when I graduated college over the summer, or even the summers between semesters in college, I was training jiu-jitsu 6 7 times a week. So I was lifting 2 to 3 times a week. And so right now I train jiu-jitsu 4 days a week and I do about 4 workouts a week. And I found that to be kind of the perfect sweet spot for this season of life and this level of my recovery for right now. And who knows, that may change in the future as I get older, but I think it's really important that everybody looks at where they're at in life currently, how important jiu-jitsu is, and kind of where they are placing that on their list of priorities, and making sure that whatever strength and conditioning that they add in is enough to make positive progress and positive strength gains, but not so much that it's going to negatively impact their recovery.